In this video, I'm going to show you how you can connect Monday.com and Claude. Once you've connected the two different tools, I'm going to show you all of the different things that you can actually do with the connection. What that means is that you're going to be working within Claude and it's going to make changes within Monday for you. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tara. I'm the founder of Simple Day. Over the last 4 years, we've helped hundreds of clients get started with Monday.com. We do custom integrations, custom builds for companies that need help getting started with Monday and building out the platform for their specific use. If you need any help, feel free to get in touch. My contact information is in the description below. And now let's jump into the video. I'm going to show you this tutorial using the Claude web version, but you can do the exact same thing in the Claude desktop version. Essentially, what we need to do is actually relatively simple. We just need to connect Monday to Claude. Now, the way that you can connect different tools that you're using to an AI tool like Claude is you need something called an MCP. Certain companies have already released their own versions of an MCP. It's basically just a connector between the different tools. So Monday has its own MCP. Just on a side note, if a tool you're using does not have its own MCP, you can actually build your own MCP through Claude, and then you can connect the different tools. But since Monday already has its MCP, it's relatively simple to just connect them. If I click on this plus button over here, you can see that I have an option to go to my connectors. So I'm going to click on Manage Connectors. And here you can see the different tools that I am currently connected to. These are the tools that I use all the time. And they're connected to Claude because I can easily tell Claude things that I want to do within those tools. So for the sake of this video, I disconnected Monday. So we're going to start from scratch in terms of how to connect Monday. So what I would do is I can either search or I could just add plus, and then I can browse connectors. And here you can see that there's a lot of different options of connectors. These are the connectors that the companies have built, and they allow you to easily connect their tools to Claude. So I'm just going to search for Monday. Got to spell it right. Okay. And I'm just going to click plus. And now I need to grant access to Monday. And there's going to be sign-in steps. Here you can see that it's telling me that I need to authorize it. And obviously I'm giving it permission to connect. And now Monday and Claude are connected. You can see here on my list of connectors that I have Monday.com. Now, if you click on it, you're going to see the permission settings. And it is important to set these beforehand because you need to decide what will you allow Claude to do within Monday without your permission, what don't you want it to do, or what does it need to ask you permission for. So these are the different options up here. So let's just say if I want to show a table, and we'll get into that, I'll show you what it is. I've chosen that it should always allow me. So it doesn't need to stop what it's doing to say, hey, Tara, do you want to connect to a table or see a table? You also have the option to have it ask you for approval. Like if I would automatically delete something, I probably would want to set an approval on that. And then I can also say like, these are things that are blocked and that you're never allowed to do. So you want to set permissions on each of these things. Now, if you look through these different tools, you can see the different things that Monday can do. So here are what they call the interactive tools. So I can show a table, I can show a chart, meaning like I can show something that's in Monday, I can show it in Claude. I can show who's assigned to things, show a battery. Then here you have the read-only tools. So these are things that it can read, meaning like it can get updates from a board. It can get board information. It can read that information. And as we continue down, you can see there's a lot of these. As we continue down, then we also have the option to write and delete tools. And the first one, create item. So essentially I can tell Claude, hey, Claude, can you create a task for me to do this? And because I gave it permission, it will automatically do it. It can create an update from here. It can create a board. It can create a form. Essentially, you can use Claude to do all of your work within Monday, which is just amazing. So once you've set all of these permissions, then you should just see what you can actually build with it or do with it in order to take things off your plate. Like that's the idea, that you're using Claude to make your life easier. So let's jump into a few examples of what can be done. Now that I've connected to my connector, I've split my screen here so you can see both things at once. You can see Monday on one side and Claude on the other side. So for the first prompt, I'm going to just tell it to show me a table within my board. Now, I've already filtered this, because the board is really long and there's a lot of information here, and I only want, just for this example, for you to see some information. So I'm going to add this prompt, show me a table of this board. And this is one of the actions that the Monday MCP can do. So it's going to show me the table. So first it's going to say, let me grab the board details. So it's looking for the board. And here you can see that it is going, in a second, it's going to show me the exact table. See, and it essentially matches this table exactly. Now, I do want to point out, and this is really important, that I had to put the Monday ID. Like here I said, on this specific board, I want you to show me the table. What I would highly, highly recommend is creating a map of Monday for Claude. So you can tell Claude, like, this is my task board, this is my leads board. Create a document with all this information, and then Claude knows where to go. So then when you say, like, find all my tasks for today, it doesn't need to ask you which board, or you don't need to give it the board ID. So I definitely recommend creating a document like that. I call it a Monday map. It took me about an hour talking to Claude, going through and getting all the information, and it's just saved in a file. For this example, I'm not referencing that file, so that's why I entered it this way, but I definitely recommend doing it. Now, let's see what else we can do. So here it's saying this is my task board, but there's 105 items, and then it's saying that I can sort and filter. So what I'm going to ask it to do is, let's see if we can get it to assign some due dates. So I can write, I need to work on the contract by today. Please make the due date today. And obviously, you want to plan this a little bit better, because to write this whole thing out in Claude, as opposed to just going in Monday, doesn't really make sense. But once you set up your map and you know your prompts, I think it makes it much easier, because then you can, like, spit things off very quickly, and Claude can do them very quickly. And you can also do things in batches. So here you can see that it's searching for it, and then it's finding the item ID. So again, this is all about prompting and putting together the right context for Claude to understand what you actually want it to do. But this is just one example. So you can see here, it says that it did it, it found my task, and it updated the date. So now I have the date. That's one example of something you can do. I can show the table, and then I can say, okay, go update the date. I can also add a new item. So let's try that. Add a new item to this board. Tara should be the Robin, and the task is to... Okay, so I just added another prompt. I said, add another item to this board. Tara should be the Robin, and the task is to record a video. So you see Claude's thinking, like, sometimes it does need that prompting. And again, this is a great example of why you would need to have that map. And here you can see on my Monday board that record a video was added, and I was assigned the Robin column over here. And it also even gives me a link. If I want to open it over here, then I can click on this link. If I wasn't sharing side by side, I can do that. Okay, so this is just a small example of things that you can do from Claude to Monday. But if you think big picture, there's a lot more that you can be doing. Like the other day, I needed to set up a board about a support flow. So it was like a company that needed to track support requests. So you can just use Claude and say, hey, Claude, set up a board for me for support requests. It will ask the name, it'll ask you all these different questions, and then it'll set up the board for you. Sometimes you don't always know what's possible with the tools that you're connected to. So just remember that you can always use a prompt and ask Claude what it can do for you. So if I put in a prompt like this, what can you do for me with the Monday connection? Let's see what it shows me. Here you can see that Claude has told me all the different things that it can do for Monday. So this is more of like a general list, reading and reporting, creating and editing. But I can say something like, can you give me a bulleted list now? Let's just be a little more precise about what exactly it can do. So here it's telling me it can read my board, create structures, edit items, run insights. but it gives me specific things that I want to do. I think that we can even go more precise in this. Like I can say, can you create boards for me? Can you create these things? But I think the key thing to remember is that you can actually ask Claude what the capabilities are of this MCP. And then you're just going to understand the different features, and then you're going to use it to your benefit. In this video, we covered some basic things that you can do with Monday and Claude. As I said, this is very basic. This is like the first level, just connecting them and do some simple things, change a task here, change a task here. But you can do so many other things with this connection. For example, you can have Claude write a plan of all of your social media and automatically publish it to Monday. You can have Claude tell you what's on your daily schedule today by looking at a certain board. You can get a daily report of everything that's going on a specific project. So this is just the beginning, and I hope that you take this video as an opportunity to think about how you can connect the two different tools and what insights you can do, and more importantly, what you can have Claude do for you to just save you time. If you need help setting up your MCP and getting started with these kind of connections and seeing how you can take advantage of this, feel free to get in touch, and I'll see you in the next video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and remember to subscribe to receive tips and tricks on how to use Monday.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.